We didn't get a chance to play every game released in 2020, but our video team has assembled a list of 10 of our favorite games we personally played this year. Unfortunately, this means a few great titles were missed. Our list is in no particular order, but make sure to stay tuned until the end for our top pick for 2020. Dragon Quest Builders 2. The sandbox genre is still going strong after all these years. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is a slightly more restrained spin on the genre, but shines with its lighthearted take on the long-running Dragon Quest franchise. The game offers open-world RPG segments where players will face off against classic Dragon Quest monsters, solve puzzles, and harvest the raw materials for the game's epic builds. The puzzles deserve a special mention for the creative use of the game's building mechanics. Players will be able to build their own village freestyle, but the game's main draw are the epic pre-designed structures needed to progress the story. The game isn't too challenging, making it ideal for adults looking for a relaxed, guided experience, and older children needing a change of pace after hundreds of hours on Minecraft. Hardspace Shipbreaker. Break down ships for scrap, make money, do it again the next day. Sounds more like work than fun, right? The basic concept of Hardspace Shipbreaker doesn't sound like much until you add the game's excellent zero-G environment and the many hazards strewn among the ship. Learning to be efficient is the name of the game here, as players race to break apart old ships into valuable pieces with a couple of specialized tools, then fling the parts into the correct bin. The chances for things to go absolutely wrong is endless. Forget to depressurize the ship before cutting it open, you and your salvage are getting blasted into space. Didn't pay attention to the bright red fuel tank while you cut through that support beam, that explosion might just kill you. Depending how you play the game, it can be tense or relaxing. No matter what, Hardspace Shipbreaker is addictive. We had a chance to preview this game when it first hit Steam Early Access. The game has only gotten better since. The quality of life features we begged for have been released. A more relaxing career mode has been added. And new content is coming out at a decent pace. Cyberpunk 2077. We couldn't get through a top 10 list without mentioning the controversial elephant in the room. It can be argued that Cyberpunk 2077 could never live up to the unbelievable hype. 6 months ago, it was pretty much guaranteed the Game of the Year award. Now we're dealing with disappointment, refunds, and a hearty debate about Cyberpunk 2077's chances. For us, the problem is the fact that the game is absolutely riddled with bugs. Yet we still find ourselves in love with the engaging story, fun combat, and excellent array of side quests. Johnny Silverhand is a standout character in the game, and Keanu Reeves' performance is top-notch. While fans of the stealth approach will be disappointed with the half-baked execution, the gunplay and melee combat are solid. The guns are an absolute blast, and the cybernetic augments put a cool spin on the game. With CD Projekt Red's history of post-release patches, they may be able to right the ship and turn a good game into a great one with a year or two of hard work. Desperados 3. It took 14 years, but the Desperados franchise made a triumphant return in 2020. Desperados 3 brings the classic squad-based RTS combat to a new generation of gamers. It offers an unabashed tribute to cowboy films with a solid cast of characters and traditional themes of family, revenge, and redemption. The audiovisual presentation feels like the art team spent hours researching classical westerns to get the right sound, scenes, and environments for the game. The gameplay is a strong mix of all-out gunfights and stealth segments. Stealth fans will have an absolute blast with its well-executed mechanics. The level design is challenging, but it's incredibly satisfying to finish a level. It's just a shame that there's no co-op support. The multiple characters and cooperative nature of the game is a perfect opportunity to round up a friend or two and live out your cowboy fantasies. While we ran into a few hitches with the controls and the odd frustrating level, Desperados 3 has made a strong case for a fourth game. Baldur's Gate 3. Another old franchise that 2020 breathed new life into. Baldur's Gate 3 is built on top of Larian Studios' widely acclaimed game Divinity Original Sin 2. As a result, the game mechanically feels like a hybrid between D&D's 5th edition rule set and Divinity Original Sin. D20 purists might take offense, but the game is still an absolute blast. The combat mechanics are sufficiently challenging, and there are plenty of non-violent solutions to the game. The story is showing a lot of promise with lots of branching options and a strong cast of 5 origin characters. Right now, the first act is available on Steam Early Access, and there are lots of classes and races still yet to be added. However, the current state of the Early Access build is very playable with 25 hours of content. While we think this will be a must-have for every gamer's library someday, right now, players who are afraid to have their progress reset may want to wait a little longer on Baldur's Gate 3. Solasta, Crown of the Magister. It was incredibly easy to miss out on Solasta's quiet Steam Early Access release as it came out around the same time as Baldur's Gate 3. It's a shame because Solasta would have turned a lot of heads. While Solasta lacks the flawless audiovisual presentation of a big budget title, it makes up for it by offering one of the most accurate D&D 5th edition experiences out there. The developers caught all the small details and translated them faithfully, from saving throws all the way to travel time. The smaller Kickstarted budget means we're missing some classes and races found in the system's reference document, but all the main playstyles are covered. Since we posted our preview, a major update has been pushed out. The game now has 12 to 14 hours of quests, more customization options, and an updated lighting system. Flat out, this is the closest thing to D&D on the PC you're getting short of rounding up a group and running an actual campaign over Tabletop Simulator or Roll20. If you've missed your weekly D&D sessions because of the pandemic, Solasta might be the thing to fill the hole in your heart. Immortals: Fenyx Rising. Another game that slipped under the radar due to a busy release schedule, Immortals: Fenyx Rising is the new IP from Ubisoft that takes cues from open-world adventures like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Assassin's Creed. While Ubisoft doesn't stray too far from the open-world gameplay they're known for, the game offers amazing puzzles. The combat is solid, though some may find it a touch too easy. The story provides an excellent twist on the classic Greek mythology. The writing is witty and incredibly funny, especially the constant banter between Zeus and Prometheus. The audiovisual presentation is bright and cartoonish. While we're not sure if Ubisoft will make a sequel, the solid mix of comedy, exploration, puzzles, and combat deserves a second game. Risk of Rain 2. Speaking of sequels, Hoppo Games took a chance with Risk of Rain 2 when they decided to reimagine their hit 2D platformer as a third-person shooter. The familiar mechanics are there: the intense roguelike experience, the random artifacts, the unique character classes, the mercilessly cruel timer, and the flat color scheme. Yet how did it all translate? Really well, actually. The audiovisual style is unmistakable, the near-masochistic learning curve is incredibly satisfying, and the gameplay loop is still as addictive as ever. The different classes play differently, so there's a ton of hours to be spent mastering each one. New players will find the difficulty options don't ramp up smoothly. There's a huge skill gap between the easy and normal difficulty, but learning is all part of the painful fun in Risk of Rain 2. While hardcore platformer fans may be disappointed by the change of genre, Risk of Rain 2 is bringing the joys of Risk of Rain to a whole new subset of gamers. Hades. Hades finally launched in 2020 after almost 2 years in Steam Early Access. We are in love with this roguelite game. It offers a solid single-player experience where players will hack and slash through their waves of hordes of undeads or die trying. And trust us, there will be a lot of dying. The entertaining storyline sends players through the underworld and Olympus as Zagreus, the prince of the underworld. He'll meet his charismatic relatives who are either trying to help him or kill him. The basic gameplay mechanics are easy to pick up, but the game is a constant learning experience. Players will need to hone their skills over many deaths, mastering each weapon's ideal attack patterns. We particularly love the base building mechanics that doubles as character progression. With every death, players will earn extra cash to expand their base and buy bonuses to make future runs a little easier. Supergiant Games is known for creating excellent titles like Bastion and Transistor. They've pulled off an incredible feat by topping them all with Hades. Doom Eternal. Our top pick for 2020 is Doom Eternal. It's challenging, it's fast-paced, it's over-the-top, it's everything you ever loved from an old-school retro shooter. The weapons are a solid mix of classic guns and new abilities like the shoulder-mounted flame belch. The story is paced perfectly for the game. It's easy to follow, provides a good amount of lore for the franchise, and it moves at a nice fast tempo. The audiovisual experience is flawless, expertly updating old fan favorites to modern standards. The soundtrack deserves a special mention, as the heart-pounding music goes a long way to keeping the game's fast pace going. While Doom Eternal isn't the longest at 20 hours, the fact that it never slows down or drags on at any time is incredible. If you only buy one game in 2020, make it Doom Eternal. What is your top pick for 2020? Be sure to let everyone know in the comments below. This is Jamie from Capsule Computers signing off.